media briefing by the Honorable Chief Secretary Farley Augustine on the 19th of December 2024.
Tell us the name of your organization.
Well, we are the Tobago Unified Fisherfolk Association, which is TUFA. But we are out here wearing the hats as citizens and fisherfolks today because we are concerned.
What are your concerns?
Our concern is concerning the oil spill that happened here on February the 7th on the 7th of February, concerning the payments from IOPC, concerning the oil spill relief committee, and no transparency, no kind of meeting with the fishermen. They had meetings in the earlier and that's it. Nothing at all. So we are here now to voice and to let the public know what exactly is going on. Don't talk half and leave half. We're here to tell the whole truth.
What compensation has this organization in terms of fisherfolk received for the oil spill?
Well, as I said, it's not about an organization. So the Tobago Unified Fisherfolk, let me say it clear, receives nothing. The fishermen, them who you are seeing behind here, receives nothing. $1,000 in the early was given as some form of a relief, but we will get into that. And I'm sure half of them here receive nothing of that.
So tell me about, you said that you didn't agree with some of the things that was said by the Chief Secretary last month.
Right, now let us get down into the fact. Now let us know that the ignorance of the people is a problem. And you see, when we lack information, we lack power. I'm going to repeat, when we lack information, we lack power. And we have been bullied from the past straight into the future with information from central government to the THA and to trickle down to we the citizen. And we lack that kind of power because they hold back information to keep us ignorant, to keep us dumb, to keep us dependent on them. And we standing up here and we saying, out with that, no more, no more. We put them there to articulate on our behalf, and the Chief Secretary has failed us as fishers. I am telling you here, I could stand here, he has failed us. Based on earlier he had a stakeholders meeting with the Lambo Fisherfolk at the food hub. And he sat and I quote, that this wouldn't be a thing of the past where he give money to certain association and dead men was on the list and somebody gonna make a jail. Well, here I don't know who is our association he talking about. Again, I'm going to read certain things because I don't want to quote anybody wrong and I could always be stand to correct. Now, the 19th of December, Mr. Farley had his media briefing behind closed doors. Myself and two others were outside because we wanted to have a meeting with him, but he don't respond to emails, he don't respond to texts, and he doesn't really care about the people at Tobago. I will say, oh, fishers. Let me talk about my fishers. You don't care about the fishers. You don't care about fishermen, right? So, now early in the part of the oil spill meeting at the Shore Park Food Hub to deal with Lambo stakeholders and vendors who were impacted by the oil spill. Now I'm going to quote him. We provided a $1,000 voucher so fisherfolk will get some form of access to food and so on, having an appreciation for the fact we were directly involved in the impact. I'm going to repeat it again, and as I quote, we provided a $1,000 voucher so that fisherfolk will get some access to food and so on, having an appreciation for the fact we were directly involved in the impact. Now, let me talk about that. Who asked him for $1,000? Fishermen stated that they have rent to pay, they have loan to pay, they have house to maintain, and other little things that give them money. You understand? And you telling me $1,000, you wasn't doing us no favor.
Yeah.
You wasn't doing us no favor. There is no payment in the Agricultural Development Bank for citizen, RBC, RBL and other institution where a boat engine, whether it's 30 horsepower, 40, costs $1,000 amount to pay. Never. Never. It are fishermen standing here. These are fishermen who just go to sea, and it are jacket and tie fishermen. Jacket and tie fishermen who telling we, the fishers who just go to sea, what we were $1,000, what $1,000 could do, you could never come out a penny saver with a scandal bag like that. So that's a total insult. We'll move down again. Second, he mentioned all the catering companies from whoever to whoever. I'm not calling them because I can't remember. It's not important to me. We had a whistleblower. All the food that was sent here working in the oil spill. I work in the oil spill. From on the 9th of February, I worked down here till everything scrapped down. I break down the last tent. Was come from the hospital. All the food from this big catering company that was coming in with the black bottom and the clear cover was given to the TEMA staff and to the big contractors to eat well while we down here fighting up with the grub. Hospital food. I didn't even cook black-eyed peas in my house because I don't want to see that in life again. So my prosperity done. I doom for 2025. I don't know how my prosperity going to be going here. Right? So I doom. So I want them when they're talking, let them talk the whole truth. Fishermen come out here, you know. They say no 5 or 6, you know. Watch them, you know. They come out in the numbers. They had enough. Enough of the THS shoving things down with throat and keeping us ignorant, keeping us fighting amongst one another and coming up and say the $1,000 is a relief. But we'll get into that. I'm getting into that relief part. We're going. So at the end of the day, third, he spoke about CAF. I could stand to be corrected. Latin America had sent in some monies to assist. We want to know what is the figure because we need information. And we want to know what was the money utilized for. So there's a question now for Farley to come back on here and answer me, Alison Thomas and the Fishers. Right? The letter from IOPC dated the 30th of October that he read, which was addressed to the Chief Secretary from Mr. Mark Holman. And in that letter, upon the preliminaries of the ORSC committee, they noticed that few claims contain any supporting documents to evidence the sum claimed. Claimants who were involved in the paid cleanup work, you have seen the name down for compensation. There was no band in place in the oil spill incident outside the 15 km. Fishermen already received $1,000 by way of compensation during the early stages of the oil spill. Now we come back and talk relief, and oil spill is telling him that that is a compensation. Now, how stupid do you think we are? He said that that is not a compensation. That is only a relief. Only a relief now. Come on. I don't want to stand here and talk. It's not about me. It's about them. And I'm now going to leave the floor open. If there's any questions you want to ask me before I leave, let fishermen voice.
So you have written the Chief Secretary with respect to this in terms of compensation. Have all Fisherfolk submitted the necessary documentation to the Chief Secretary or to his office with respect to the compensation needed?
Well, respect to the compensation needed, I want to know who in charge, if it's the THA or if it's IOPC, because IOPC gave them some claimant forms for us to bring in all the stuff. I don't know what formula he talking about because we never get the formula. I don't know if it was alkaline formula he talking about. Formula, you know. So I don't know if it's that formula he talking about because we don't know no formula. We put down exactly what is our operating cost, what is the basic things that we need to go out at sea, what it is we lost, what it is we losses we facing.
And those were submitted.
And those were submitted. And in this letter that he read on the 30th, IOPC said they're not paying. I am standing here and saying, yes, it has some fishermen do not fish around this area. Right? You don't know that. You don't know that. I don't know that. Every man have to do an introspection within themselves and know exactly who will claim for what goes on in Scarborough and Lambo that were affected. This is a bait area. This is the lobster ground. He haven't talked about what about the crab catchers like Manuel, like Adil Abord. He ain't talk about the stakeholders, the vendors, like Miss Laura. feeding off at the back of the fishermen, she small shop there. What about all the stakeholders? What about the vendors and them? You relocate them. Come on.
You have a total number. How many fisherfolk from your organization are affected?
Well, that I cannot say, and I will not say online. I will not say, because at the end of the day, the fishermen in the association send in the claims either by themselves or through us. So if I give you a figure, I might be stating too much or too little. So that
approximation.
Well, maybe approximate could be about 40, 50 people. Because some will be claiming bait, not that there's fish here, they will come around here and then eventually saying they could fish anywhere.
So what you are calling on the THA to do, because it's the THA assisting
of course.
compensation.
The far as I see, it's not like the THA assisting, it's IOPC. We want the Honorable Farley Augustine to come and face us. We don't want him behind closed door in no meeting. Let him come down back on the ground from where we pick him up and put him there. Let him come down here and reach us.
Yeah.
We ain't above nobody. Let him come here and face us. Don't be embarrassed to face the people that put you there.
When was the last time he met with
Who
you?
When
was the last time he met with you?
We have sent in, the last time we have sent in a hand document we hand to him when our organization now started. We gave him the document at Palatove. We tried to call him, reach out. We came to his office. He's a disrespectful little man. I'm very sorry to say that, but he's very disrespectful. He do not respond to emails. He do not send an acceptance to say, well, yes, I heard about the organization and we want to meet and have a meet and greet and sit down and do things the correct way. That's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be leading by example, not curry favor in who you want or who looking to be a political regime party for you for this year. But I tell you, you ain't getting my vote again. You ain't getting my vote again. So at the end of the day, let the fishermen here now talk. Because they want answers. They need to know that here what happened. We put somebody to stand up militant and strong for we. No, Sophie. What IOPC coming from to tell you, not because we don't know about oil spill, mean we dumb. We not. There is policy set in place to pay people that are affected. This affect everything. If you take a walk there now, is oil, you're still seeing in some of the things washing up as the rough sea. As the rough sea. That is how it's going. It's coming up. It's coming up. If you go and bathe in Lambo, you're coming out. You see your toe cuticles, it's oil. This is a long-lasting thing, and you cannot tell me you talk about 47.3 claims come in. And who? Like fishermen don't know money. Them alone no money. Them alone no money. $1 million for bus shed, $1 million for this. Them alone no money, fishermen no money, you cannot blame them. Yes, they're ignorant in fact they don't keep bookkeeping. But go out in the sea from 6 in the morning, sorry, stand to be corrected fishermen, from 3:30 and come back in 6 and you telling them to sit down and do book work?
Sometimes days I spend.
And on top of that, there are data collectors sitting there, supposed to be collecting the data. That's supposed to be backing them for these claims. And they are abandoned by fisheries. They are abandoned by fisheries. Where is fisheries? Our area representative, Mr. Wayne Clark, where is he? Silent on this matter from day one. Nowhere to be found. He attended a meeting and said nothing. He said nothing. Where's the voice for Lambo? You are sitting inside there in the division. You need to say something. But I am going to leave. Let her hear the voice of the fishermen now. Nobody else more than the fishermen now. Look, after the oil cleanup, power by God. And go see for months, it's there. So let's hear from the fishermen.
You actually posted one of the videos that I posted.
What's your name?
My name is Captain Barry St. George. My vessel is called Hog Snapper. I'm based out of Scarborough, Tobago. It's a 50-foot boat. Hog Snapper.
Your name?
Barry St. George. Captain Barry St. George.
How has this affected you?
I, on more than one occasion, but two in particular, suffered tremendous losses. I go to Trinidad to buy bait for my boat to go fishing. It takes me 2 or 3 days to go there and come back. I paid $2,500 for a charge of bait for my boat to go fishing. I went down to Trinidad, I came back up, I drove through that oil spill that Ms. Williams posted on the south end of Tobago. I had no clue it was there. And needless to say, every bait in my bait well died. So this is 3 days into it. $1,000 in ice, $2,000 in fuel, and I now have to start over from the very beginning.
Exactly.
I can't go fishing because I have no bait. I burn out all the fuel, the ice melting away, and I now have to drive back down to Trinidad. So 2 weeks of my time. That is one incident. On the next incident, I was drift fishing. This time of year we do what is called drift fishing. We drive out in the middle of the ocean, sometimes 30 or 40 miles, and drift for days at a time. The longer you're on the drift is usually the more fish you will get gathering around the boat. You gather the fish around the boat as you go. On that second occasion, I met this oil spill coming into the darkness in the night. I didn't know what it was. When the boat reached in the oil spill, I realized what it was. So I then had to stop my fishing, drive away from it, dragging all my fishing tackles so that they didn't get covered in the oil, and forget about that. So that is 2 days wasted again. Same thing, all bait in the well dead, because once that oil go inside the bait, well bait and living in there.
Correct.
As well as the anti-fouling that we use on the bottom of our boats to design to keep the barnacles and the moss from growing down there. When that got oil on it, that is no good anymore either. Exactly. It cost me $25,000 to paint the bottom of my boat. $25,000. So on those 2 occasions, I could quantify my loss reasonably at close to $100,000. I know I'm not going to get any $100,000, so I quantified it as the loss of 2 sets of bait, $4,000, and $10,000 in fishing time and money and fuel. $24,000, that is all I want. Like Ms. Ting said, when I had to pay a bank loan at the end of the month, it's not no $1,000 loan. When I lose that money, I'm talking about money that I lost without even catching one single fish in a week of my time. How do I quantify that into a real figure? As far as who getting compensation from this oil spill and who not getting compensation, nobody never come and ask any of us what we went through. Nobody sit down and watch me in my face and say, well, Mr. St. George, what happened to you that you decided you need to get this payment, and give me the chance to voice my opinion of what happened and produce the necessary evidence that you are talking about to you for me to get compensated. They tell you fill out a form, hurry, 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 put a figure on it and send it in. So you're sending the form and you're waiting to hear back. Anybody hear anything from anybody? No. Never hear a word. The next thing you hear, nobody ain't getting no compensation. They're keeping the 50 million for themselves, and that is the end of that. I will give someone else a chance.
One more. Right here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Richard Boris.
Hold on. Don't shout. Okay. Stay still.
Try to stay still.
Yes.
You move already. Try to stay still.
Okay, my name is Richard Boris, and I'm a fisher from Palatavia. But I fishing down on the south, down here on a regular basis, and all these fishermen behind me here could vouch for that. However, I am here this morning not to bash anybody really, right? But to share a sentiment and to get answers for the fisherfolk, for the fishers of Tobago and of Lambo and whoever was affected down here, right? And it is alleged that when the THA had asked for money to compensate for the cleanup, they also asked for money to compensate fishers also. So far, we don't know what is the figure. We hear about $50 million. We don't know what is the figure. We don't know what was the figure that was used to compensate for the oil spill and what was left or to compensate fishers. However, there's a IOPC, which is what you call ITOF, say that fishers didn't put no facts together to get compensated. Now I am saying this: if the THA is in charge of Tobago, how can you let a company from outside come here and tell you who to get compensation, who not to get compensation? I think it is a disrespect, because really and truly, we have an organized body here that telling you to sign up forms of your claims and whatever. And when we had a meeting with Palatavia, and I don't want to say what I put in claim, a white ITOF also told me, Mr. Taylor, he said, you were fishing down on the south? He said, yes. He said, well, if you are fishing down on the south and you have to leave because of the oil, you are inconvenience, and you have a right to put down your name for compensation. So then I put down my name for compensation and put in lawsuit because I have to buy gas to go elsewhere and spend more money. And in fact, when I look on a pass through Lambo sometime and I see all the boats in Lambo Harbour covered with oil, and you go come back and say, no, you're not compensating fishermen because they didn't put things in is that disrespect to fishermen. The answers are not getting neither is that we have organized bodies like fisheries and here who doing nothing for us here. I'll try a little further, even with the boats, Spanish boats, Belgian boats in our waters right now, fishing right here, and nothing happening. The only thing they call the Coast Guard, sometimes they're telling you that they can't nothing because traders own these Spanish boats. But who's to know? Who checking them?
And in the briefing, he said
Who checking the Belgian and them to know if they have pass to fishing here? The only time the Coast Guard is going to come out there is you can't tell me see a boat with drugs, the Coast Guard will come. But other than that, if you call them because of these Spanish boats and these Belgian boats haul away all our fads and things when the day come, and overnight and things when you hook up on the fat, they haul away all of our fads, we get no compensation. No compensation. So for this entity to come and talk about we and eligible for compensation, they are disrespectful, and I find not even the THA nor fisheries is standing up for the fisherfolk of Trinidad and Tobago.
Nobody.
The only time you're seeing them is when time comes for election, but we're waiting on them because they will come again. So we want answers, and we want to stand in front of Farley Augustine and let him give answers of the oil spill and the compensation towards fishermen down here and who was affected. And we must have some kind of compensation and to meet with him that fishermen wouldn't be disgruntled and to have a compensation to make them comfortable. Thank you.
No, I have one question.
Go ahead.
So on the letter from the IOPC, one of the things that they say reason why a lot of fishermen can't get compensation because the ban that was in place was only around just 15 kilometers around the vessel that was shipwrecked. I wanted to explain, why that, in your opinion, that should not be a reason why you guys can't accept compensation, access compensation.
First, the beginning, that could never be because we have videos of that oil all up in front of Culloden Castara. All these places way down, some of this oil go down to Grenada. So you can't tell me no 15 kilometers away from which part oil spill. It went further than that, and it handbugged people. Sometimes, even like Mr. Barry was saying, when we came down to fishing, oil went up in my bait, same and killed my bait. I just go back home same way, and that's just off Culloden. So for you to come and tell fishers now that they can't get compensation, you disrespectful, because you never go there. I even in the meeting with Tima, I told them about the oil. I showed them the video. And I asked, they said I asked them to carry them in my boat, free, to show them where the oil spill is. Nobody come out. Because I don't want to know. Nobody come out. I offer them to carry them free, for them to see where the oil doing. So for them to come and talk that now, I find that total disrespect. So we want answers, and we want to talk to Mr. Farley. Let him give us answers of what is going on with fishers with this compensation that we're supposed to get, because they claim for it. They claim for it.
And you are still getting oil in your baits and your fish and so on.
Well, only at when they see rough right now, because some of the oil was covered up on the sun and thing. So when they see rough, it dig it up, and sometimes you see traces of oil and things still.
But
right?
you are getting to fish now?
Yeah, we are getting to fish now. But that would affect still like the crab and the coastal areas and things still. Right? And bait. And pacro and all them things, that would affect them. But outside we're getting to fish right now. But that doesn't say we had great loss of earnings during the oil spill. And nobody doing nothing about it.
You want to talk to somebody?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else wanted to say anything or?
Yeah, man.
Your name?
My name is David Smart, better known as Smokey. I'm from the community of Boku Fishing Village. In Mr. Farley briefing, he said that the fishermen have to go down to Trinidad to submit their claims to or via email. But we want to know, right? The fishermen want to know how it is we are going to go down Trinidad, because I think Farley, because we sending our claim to fisheries, Tima, and to ITOF in Trinidad. And then they came back to Mr. Farley. So we are going to get our forms that we fill out from him to go back down to Trinidad, because all our information is there. And for people to go now to try to seek back all this information, it is unreasonable. They are not coming to the fishermen and them and say nothing at all. And if you check it, fishermen in Tobago is generating most of the revenue in Tobago as I speak. The hotels, they buy at least 5,000 pounds of fish from fishermen in a week. When this oil spill happened, on the first day I was going around there and I saw the water shine. I was like, okay, water calm. I didn't know what was going on. Then I heard it when I came back in from sea that there was a thing. I called Mr. Bobby, which is the president of ATFA, and I started liaising with him from day one about this oil spill. He even asked me to come round to Scarborough to help. Where this boat was is one of my main fishing ground, and a lot of people fishing ground too. They asked for GPS coordinate. You don't have to get no GPS coordinate to go there. You don't have to, because it's right there. You know what I mean? And the next thing I want to understand, they have a committee with Mr. Utley from Fisheries, Mr. Dexter Taylor, 7 of them. When they were in the meeting, I stood up and asked why it is there is no bona fide fishermen on this committee who could say, yes, this fisherman was fishing wrong there, this fisherman who used to fish there, you know what I mean? And I didn't get any answer. I did not get any answer. There is a lot of fishermen. Now Mr. Utley stand up and said in front of my face, he want to know if there is oil spill there, or they're doing a drilling there, fisherman fishing there. They come along on this side, fisherman fishing there. But let me tell you something. 2 fishermen go out at sea and they fish there, they catch fish around that area. When they come back in, the whole of Tobago fisherman knows. The next day, that spot is going to be infested with boat fishing. It could be 75 miles on top of the land, fisherman is going to go there. It could be 50 miles under the land, west, fisherman is going to go there. And I'm talking about fisherman from Scarborough, fisherman from Speyside, fisherman from Roxborough, fisherman from Charlottesville, fisherman from Palativere, all over.
Are you disappointed at this time with the teaching?
Very, very disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed. And Mr. Farley, I don't know what to say again. You know, some of the fishermen, they came to Buku. They're still at Buku right now because they don't want to come back there, and it still have a little bit oil coming up from the ground and stuff like that. And then the next thing again too, once you come in there with your bait well, that little oil is going to go inside there, and we have a lot of boat teething and boat engine. So it's like, what is happening? The fishermen is feeling it. People have rent to pay on the claim form. They said for the past 3 years, you have to submit your income for the past 3 years, right? You submit that. Then they say if you are paying rent, you have to submit that. Your expenses, your food bill, you have to put that. Your operating cost of your vessel, You had to pay crew. So when you calculate all of this, and it reached 700,000 or 500,000, what are you talking about? Because people need to pay the ADB bank. And if you don't pay the ADB bank do not want to know where you're getting your money from. They want their money. So when you go out on the street, they come and they take your house, they take your car, they take your boat, everybody will be laughing at you. And we need some answers, and we need some answers by Wednesday. No longer than Wednesday. Because the fishermen and them are fed up. We are fed up of they treating us like bullies. You know what I mean? They're treating us real bad. And we cannot take it anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to mention one thing. Now, the most important question of the day, and even down to the media realize not asking, who are the owners of the vessels now? Why the central government and the THA, they know not coming out and tell us who is the owner of the Solo Creed? And who is the owner of the, what is the name of the boat? That turnover? The Gulf Stream. All of a sudden that gone under the rug. Fisherman is an independent body, and then fail to realize that we could go and hire a lawyer and go direct to them if they don't want to pay. We is an independent body. We could go and file them big lawyers and go straight after the culprit. We need answers. The central government or THA, whoever, or they're hiding it because they run down. Guyana wants to find out, they run all over the globe, and somebody know who is the owner. We need to know. Stop hiding things. Tell us the whole truth. Not talk half and leave half as old people that said. Enough said.
Stay together so we can get a view of the... Get some shots of that. Huh?